What's up, Golden Frying Pan people? Welcome back to the kitchen. Another phenomenal example of me messing up. Outstanding, outstanding. I forgot to record again. Thankfully, it's not the end of the world. I wasn't really saying anything. I was just talking about how I have little to say. But still, gosh dang it. I don't know, for those who do not know. A couple weeks ago, I had a problem with audio where time and time again, I made two entire episodes that I was happy with of the Golden Frying Pan Man, but they just didn't, like, I didn't record the audio for whatever reason. I didn't record it. It's not for whatever reason. It's because I just messed up. And I tried to be... There's a couple different reasons for it. It's because I'm trying to be better put together, more official, more understanding of the programs and software that I am using, mainly OBS. But regardless, it's something that is, like... It's ridiculous that it happened. You know, it's ridiculous that it happened at all, in any regard. The fact that I have continuously struggled with, basically, my interests is quite interesting. I'm not good whenever it comes to, computers. I know that. To be honest with you guys, it's just a lot of stuff that I'm not good at memorizing things. I'm just not good at memorizing things. And, well, most of what computer stuff is memorizing a lot of very specific... It's basically memorizing its own language, right? It's not easy. At least it's not easy for me. And that makes it really tedious and unenjoyable, right? I've been told the specs of my computer time and time and time again. I have plenty of resources to, you know, make me an informed person. I should, by all means, know more about my computer and really about softwares. But it's like every time I learn something, it just goes right out the other ear. No, for one reason or another, I'm just not good at memorization. I don't know. This is becoming a rambly rant of, oh, this sucks for me. But no, like, I know it's a thing that, memory is assisted with sleep and, you know, a bunch of stuff like that, but I don't feel like... I have no idea how to improve my memory. Anytime I try, it feels like I fail, one way or another. I'm just not good with memory. Yeah, as I was saying, I've never been good with memory. I've always had a really shoddy memory. And it's not like a thing where I have specifically a good memory of this, that, or the other thing. I have no control over what I'm able to memorize easily. As a matter of fact, that's the reason why I'm so bad with math. I did not retain a single thing from my final couple of years that I was in math. Every single year, I would learn it enough to be able to pass, and then as soon as I didn't need it, it would be gone. And I'm not even talking about, like, oh, now, you know, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, in high school, in middle school, like, I don't know how to find the area of a circle. And you know how long it's been since I've known how to find the area of a circle? Literally the year that it was taught. I learned it until I didn't need to know it anymore that year, and then I didn't know it anymore. I don't know it anymore. And I don't know, it's just difficult. I want to have a better memory, but I have no idea, like, particularly how to do it in a meaningful way. And I feel like that is one of the biggest things that has set me back. You know, for a while, I really thought that the definition, or at least the most tangible sense of what intelligence is, you know, like a very simple sense of what is, smart. What makes you smart is the ability to remember things. Because, like, I thought about it, and you have all of these different characters and people that they're defined by memory of, like, oh, you know, you tell them something and then they're able to just they could just recall it, right? You tell them all these smart things and they can just remember it like that easily, you know. And so I guess that's less of comprehension and more of just, um, you know, going off of what has been told. But regardless, like, that has to be a very prominent part of intelligence, right? Just objectively. You need to be able to remember the smart things that are told to you. If you can't remember, then how are you going to be able to be smart? Intelligence very frequently to me seems quite linearly a conversation of memory. And, like, I don't know how to just make my memory get bigger. I don't know how to make it so that I remember things more. And I feel bad. There's many times where I feel objectively awful because other people are so good with their memory and they're so thoughtful with it. Because it's not just, like, objective ideas of, like, oh, math. No! I forget people's birthdays. I forget, like, nice, important things that I know that I should remember. Like, I'm a big proponent. Christmas season's coming up. I'm a big proponent of buying people gifts that they don't explicitly ask for. Like, you know, okay, not that they don't explicitly ask for, but not something that they, like, put on a list, right? I feel like if you buy something where they're not consciously, they want it, but they don't, like, necessarily know that they want it, that tends to be way more impactful. It shows that you know them. It shows that, you know, you're hanging out with them and that you are observing those small moments. Something that not even, you're around them so much that you remember something that not even they remember, right? And there's many instances where I recognize that people do that. Sorry, I'm coming off of a sickness. There's many instances where people talk to me about different things. They're like, oh, I would really like that. And I'm trying to consciously remember. I'm not, like, making a big point of, like, remind me that or anything. Because obviously they're not going to remember either. But it's something that I try and make a conscious note of, like, okay, we need to remember that. And I can't. I don't. I know that there's several instances, but I can't even tell you guys those instances because I don't remember them. Right? It's something very difficult that I've had to deal with. And I'm not saying, oh, woe is me. It's just something that I really want to improve on, and I don't know how. I feel like that's a big reason why I keep, you know, struggling with a golden frying pan, man, is because I don't... Sorry. Is because I struggle with remembering to do specific settings. That should just be easy for me to remember. You know, even something as simple as remembering to say hi to someone, or remembering a text message, or remembering a promise or a commitment. If you can't remember things, then how can you be reliable? You can't. That's the answer. You simply can't. And it's not necessarily your fault, because you just don't remember. But at that point, then it's your obligation to do things to circumnavigate that. That was a big word. But no, genuinely, it is your responsibility to, like, okay, if you can't remember this date, then write it down on a calendar, right? But what do I do to remember to look at the calendar? What do I do to not have to rely on a calendar for something all the time? I can't calendar, you know, a skill. I can't calendar intention. I can't calendar an emotional thing, you know. And it's not like someone... Every single time they do something nice, I'm not going to have a sheet of paper to be like, oh, yeah, let me write that down. Even if I do that, it's not like that's inconspicuous or anything like that. They're going to know that, oh, yeah, I did that, you know? And it just, I don't know, I feel like it won't be as impactful. It won't be as special. I don't know if that's necessarily a right way to look at it, but regardless, it's a way I feel. I don't know how to improve this aspect of me. Sometimes there feels like things that I just can't do anything about. It makes me feel very helpless. And I know it needs to get better. I know that objectively speaking, it would be a net positive for my life, but I don't know. I don't want to constantly have to just be coping with my weaknesses. You know, I don't want to continuously have to use tools to be fine. I want to just be fine. Is that ridiculous? Is that crazy for me to say? I don't want to constantly feel like a burden to other people and other things. And a big part of that would be to, you know, not need to constantly utilize other things. I guess that's kind of ironic, given that my favorite class is the engineer, and his entire thing is having buildings, buildings and utilities which help other people, even though he himself is not exactly the most useful. I suppose that's actually really funny. I never thought about it like that. This is genuine. I wasn't thinking about that at all. I guess in that sense, it's something that, you know, given time and understanding of your own limitations can help you be a great benefit to those around you. Yeah, I can't heal somebody, but I can give people the means to heal themselves. I can't do a whole lot of damage myself, but I have enough to defend myself and quite enough to be able to dish out with a sentry gun. Sentry gun, dispenser, teleporters. They're all aspects that I, a player, can't necessarily do anything. Oh, this is... Holy crap. Clearly my tools are very useful to some extent because there are literal game mechanics that are made to counteract them. Like the Sentry Buster. You know, or even the Sticky Bomb Launcher. What was I saying? Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess that is a good point. You know, even if you can't do something, that doesn't mean that you can't enable other people to do things. You know? Life is a team sport, unfortunately. I think that's a big part of, like, movies and power fantasies is that, like, oh, we can do it. We can do it all by ourselves. Like, I love Leon S. Kennedy, don't get me wrong. Big fan of Leon S. Kennedy. But he's, like, not real. He's not real in many different ways. Especially in the way of, like, he functionally cannot exist. His biggest, like, he's impossibly strong, impossibly good looking, always has the proper amount of luck that is needed, but just enough to struggle to sympathize with him. You know, he's not someone that you can necessarily easily relate to in many different ways, at least not in his later instances, but we still like him because he's able to do things that entire teams would be required to do, and he can do it all by himself. That's a big thing. Sorry, I've been talking for too long. It's a big thing with video games, you know, of being able to do things all by yourself. You don't need other people. Uh-oh. Well, whatever. I need to go back to the spawn anyway. Of being able to do it all yourself, but you can't. I think that's one of the biggest things about Team Fortress 2. It's a team game. I think I talked about this a while, speaking of trust. Team Fortress 2 is a game where you don't actually really need your teammates to do well. At least not in most versions of the game, you know. This is a different version where, yeah, heck, not having one specific... Missing a teammate in man versus machine, man up mode especially. Is my internet dying? Oh, wait, I need to... 1 second. Give me a moment. There we go. Alright, I'm back. Not having a teammate in man versus machine will quickly spell death. It will make your life a whole lot more difficult. I didn't mean for this to start being a conversation about teamwork or anything like that. Uh-oh. Yeah, saw that coming. You're not going to be able to beat the entire team by yourself. You will not be an action hero, even though that is a very, you know, prominent part of at least the American culture. Most cultures, I feel like, there that guy goes. Most cultures, I feel like, obviously like to work with this idea that you can do it yourself. Get off. What? Are you kidding me? That's so ridiculous. Be for real. Are we serious? That's hilarious. Anyway, that's funny. Anyway. Yeah, teamwork's important. You need to be able to work with other people. That's why not being able to trust other people is so scary. As I talked at length about in that other video. Dude! Dude! There we go. Holy crap, that was ridiculous. Um... Yeah, it's definitely a very, like, you want to be able to do things yourself. You want to be strong. I feel like that's very normal for especially guys, but it's not necessarily related to gender or sex or anything like that. Everyone wants to be strong and sufficient and not a burden to other people. Well, most people do, you know. Most healthy people don't want to feel like they're inconveniencing other people. They want to be strong enough to stand on their own. But, like, that's not really possible for everything. You just can't really tell whenever it is and isn't possible. That sucks. I don't know what to do about that. Because I feel like I'm constantly not enough, you know? It feels like there's other people that do it way better than I can do it. And this is, again, just becoming, you know, my insecurities. But I've heard this, you know, talked about by many people. I've heard many people talk about feeling insecure and not enough. Oh, we might use this. We might need that. I've heard many people talk about it. I've heard many people confess that it is a feeling that they have of, you know, not wanting to be a burden, and it creates it makes people isolated. But also, like, what do you do whenever you feel like you're being too apologetic or anything like that? I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not the one to you know, give perspective on this. I was talking about memory earlier, and can you even imagine how we got here? Yeah, I guess I don't necessarily know if I have a whole lot more to talk about. I wasn't really expecting to talk about teamwork or anything like that. But yeah, I guess that is the entire point of the engineer's role, as well the medic's role, you know. We don't have a medic in this game, which is highly not usual, but we've managed somehow. We managed somehow. It's probably a bit because of the dispenser. You know, I'm getting way more heals than I typically do in a game of MVM or any game of Team Fortress 2. So there is definitely different aspects of it which, you know, help out and help build each other up. But still, it would just feel so much better if I didn't have to constantly feel, you know, like, I don't know, like I need to rely on other things and other people to be competent. But famously, Engineer is a class in which they get more powerful the more time that you give them to be by themselves. But that's, like, so stressful for me in a regard. I can deal with that in a short game of Team Fortress 2. That's not difficult to deal with in, you know, a 40-minute increment. But in a amount of time in which nothing is actually, you know, guaranteed. Was that guy A-posing? Where nothing is actually guaranteed to you in any meaningful way. It's really difficult to just sit and commit a lot of time to one thing or another. It's not easy. Can you guys blame me for that? Imagine spending all of your life investing and putting... Is that it? Oh, cool. Investing and putting money away and being smart and being safe, and then whenever it came down to it, in your final moments, or not in your final moments, in moments before then, you know, way too early, you know, you're putting all this money away in a Roth IRA, let's say, where you can't touch it. You can't even touch... Awesome. You can't even touch it until you're like 59 or something like that. And then you're, you know, being really smart and you're putting money into this Roth IRAs because it's a good idea and you don't have it in your bank account or anything, whatever. And then you die when you're 58. And you just spent all that time whenever you could have used those, you know, in the moment. Whenever you could have used those right then and there. And it probably would have felt better. It's such a hard thing to know if everything is a gamble. Every single day is a gamble. Can we talk about that? I guess it's a weird, what are they called? Catch-22? Catch-20? Something like that. Where it's like, I want to be strong for other people, but what's the sense in going to the gym if, you know, I could die tomorrow? But then you'll feel bad. Regardless, you feel bad because, you know, in one scenario, you're thinking of your own death. And in the other scenario, you feel like your life is not really as, I'm going to die. Wait, no, I'm gonna die. And you feel like your life isn't really as good as it could be, or as it really should be. I don't know. Heck, I have no idea what to do about that. Very difficult thing. Almost as if people make entire philosophies trying to break that down. One of the most, known modern tropes is talking about like people not or cherishing the moment and not constantly, trying to put all their money away and being able to actually do things that you appreciate and enjoy and all that good stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna die again. That was really fast. Well, I may be the burden of the team right now. Maybe. But hey, there's worse things. I just wish my memory was better. I wish I didn't have to constantly write everything down. I wish that I could just remember things and not have to have someone remind me. Have something remind me. Can you really blame me for that? Can you really blame me for that? Can anyone blame me for that? It feels like a normal thing to want. It feels normal to want to be able to be competent and not constantly feel like I'm, justifying myself to other people and I'm not constantly lying to other people about how much I know. Is that not crazy? Is that not valid? Am I not real for that? Am I unfair somehow? I don't know. I guess I want to be able to have a scenario in which I'm not give me the health. Where's the health at? Give me the health. Hey, cool. I guess I didn't need it. I hope you guys had a good week. And yeah, for something that was rambly, I feel like that came together better. I did not have any goal for that at all. So, all in all, I think that wasn't that bad. I hope you guys enjoyed the nice and nostalgic, it's not really nostalgic, but the classic, MVM tour. So, hope you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later.